Hello people, welcome once again to this episode of This is Grace. Thank you for liking, commenting and following us on our page. Now this week we will be speaking to Mr. John Achek. He is the president of the South Sudanese community in WA, and we just want him to help us challenge these negative perceptions about the African community here in Australia. So Mr. John Achek, welcome to This is Grace, and thank you for taking time off work to speak to us. We really are grateful. And just so that you can introduce yourself to our viewers, tell us what you do for your community and just a brief overview of how many people from South Sudan are here in Western Australia.
Thank you. My name is John Achek, as Grace have just said. Thank you very much for taking time, and thank you also for acknowledging the work that some of the leaders within our African communities does. South Sudanese community is a 30-year-old organization. So we have been here for more than 30 years. As of now, we are a growing community. Currently in Western Australia, as for 2016 census, they put our population to around 3,500.
Oh, wow.
But what is in our book is around 7,000. So which means there were some people who were not counted, and we are we are like a mushroom organization.
Okay.
Because we got a lot of children, we got a lot of middle-aged people.
Okay.
And then we got just a few in that age bracket. So within the South Sudanese community, most of the organization, like the South Sudanese community, what we usually do is we are a volunteer-based organization. So we help our people to settle and navigate the way, and we're just trying our best to be able to get in and fit into this society. So my vision for South Sudanese community to see a well-connected, vibrant, united community within the Australian context.
Yes.
And we have a lot of connection.
Yeah.
And we are also part of the bigger African community. So that is a little bit of summary of what we usually do as the South Sudanese. So we are a service organization.
Okay. So because you are very engaged with your community and you also kind of liaise with other stakeholders who work with your community, just give us a brief overview of what perceptions, or it could be negative, that non-Africans have against the South Sudanese community. What sort of negative perceptions have your community ever experienced, and what's the impact to their families?
I will just begin with positive things, the positive perception that some other non-African communities have about South Sudan, or about South Sudanese Australian or South Sudanese West Australian. South Sudanese people are very hard-working people.
Yes.
A majority of our people work in a very labor-intensive industries, and we have managed to get into, within 30 years, we are well represented in most of the Australian industries.
Yeah.
So we have got few people working with big companies like BHP Billiton and Rio Tinto. We got senior geologists in the system. Within that very short period of time, we have got few academias in the universities, and those people were those who came here and they study here. They are managing to get into the system. We have got a lot of young people tapping into the Australian sporting facilities. So we have got a lot of young people at the moment in most of the top clubs in Australia. So we are represented in most of the areas. There are few challenges, like we are a society.
Yes.
Meaning we have, when we came here, a lot of people came with a bit of trauma.
Yes.
Because majority of us as South Sudanese came here as refugees because of the war in South Sudan.
Yes.
So we have got few people who have made wrong choices.
Yes.
And some of them have ended up being on the wrong side of the law.
Yes.
But that does not represent that is not the representation of the South Sudanese as people.
Yes.
But we understand those few people. That is the reason why organizations like South Sudanese and other community organizations are established to be able to support those who have made the wrong choices.
Yes.
And to also support those who have made the right choices so that they settle here in Australia and in Western Australia.
Brilliant.
We came here to stay. I always say that.
Yes.
We are West Australian. We are
Yes.
South Sudanese West Australian.
Yes.
So that is with the issue of racism in the system. This is something that nobody can erase it.
Yes.
But we should not live to impress other people. We should be left to live freely as South Sudanese West Australian. That is our number one identity.
Yes.
And we are part of the bigger system.
Yes.
Yeah.
So from what I'm hearing from you is that you have positively made contributions to the Australian community. You have sports personalities, you have academia, you have professionals who are working in the mining industry, you have people teaching in universities. So basically what people hear about the South Sudanese community could be something to do with gangs, all negativity, but that is not who you are as a community. You have made a big strides towards healing from trauma, from back home. And we really want to see more of that. We want to see more of that positive engagement. So moving forward, what would you tell young Sudanese people who want to make it here in Australia? Because I think some of them struggle with transition from at home. They are expected to be South Sudanese, and outside they are Australian because they were born here. So what message would you like to send to them?
So what I would want to tell to my South Sudanese young people, and especially the next generation of the South Sudanese, the future is very bright for them. Unlike the kid who came with us.
Yes.
Because as I said, these young children have got people that they can look up to.
Yes.
So you go into the art industry, in the top model in Australia,
yes,
we have South Sudanese there.
Fashion.
In the fashion industry, in the sporting industry, you've got a lot of young South Sudanese already playing
yes,
in front of 100,000, being followed by a million of people.
Yes.
In all the different sporting activities like soccer, football,
basketball.
They, South Sudanese, they're flag bearers of Australia.
They are.
And these young children that were born here in Australia have got a bright future because they can see themselves in Australia.
They do.
Unlike the kid who came with us, who find it very, very hard to fit in because they couldn't see themselves.
Yes.
And these young people, I would say the future is very bright for them. And we should not live because other people want us to live the way they want us to.
Yes.
Also, as South Sudanese, we are a social kind of a collective society.
Yes.
So when people talk of gangs, this is something that majority of us experienced when we came here.
Yes.
When you see young people working in a group, a lot of people will see them. You see 5 people, 10, then somebody will just, the fear of unknown will come into someone's mind.
Yes.
And say, oh yes, because they are gang.
Yes.
But back home where we come from, in Africa, people work
in groups.
They work in groups, they support themselves.
Yes.
And when they see, my message to my fellow other Australian is, yes, there are few gangs in Australia that are not of South Sudan origin. Yes. But when you see a group of South Sudanese working together, 5 of them, 10 of them, then they, because of that culture, that is what makes them to be able to work together like that. So it's not, yes, we can, people will have that fear of unknown, but I could just tell my Australian colleague that because of culture, that is why you see them working in a group, because we are a collective society.
We live together as
Yep.
brothers and sisters.
Yep.
We always sit together, eat
Yep.
together.
Yep.
Back home, we sit by the roadside together, chatting, catching up.
Yep.
We are our brothers and sisters keepers.
Yep.
So I think what you are saying and what I'm hearing from you is that we live as a community, we work together, we share, and we don't mean any harm. If you see like 5 or 6 young people working together, we don't mean any harm. We're minding our business.
Yep.
Yeah. So, like you said, you're here to stay, and you are expecting a vibrant future for young Sudanese people who are still, who are still growing in the system.
Yep.
So, do you have anything to add?
So the message that I can tell to my my fellow Australian brothers and sisters is that yes, we came here to stay. We are part of the system. We are contributing into the Australian economy.
Yes.
We are contributing into the Australian heritage.
Yes.
We have come with wealth of resources that could be part of the Australian history.
Yes.
So for us as South Sudanese, what struck me sometimes is when one young person have done a mistake, that person become a representative of everyone. Unlike many people that does a lot of work, that have done great job for Australia, that have contributed, that have worked for Australia, that have contributed to the society, and they are nowhere to be seen. And then once you see a single young person making a mistake, then all the camera will be behind. So this is what I would say. Australia was built before we come.
Yes.
And all the infrastructure, prison, law enforcement agent, everything was there before South Sudanese came.
Yes.
So which means, yes, people make mistake, but if one person made a mistake, then that person should not, the whole society should not be put into one basket.
Yes.
As wrongdoers.
Yes.
Yes, those people need support. We have a lot of challenges, as I say, because we come from a war-torn country.
Yes.
But we are fitting in. I could say we have done more than any other community that have come to Australia.
True.
For less than 35 years.
Yes.
We have managed to get into the system.
Yes.
We are fit in.
Yes.
And my hope is to see South Sudanese well-connected society, that we are the ambassadors of our motherland, South Sudan, and the Africa in general. And us living here in Australia is a privilege. We have to thank Australians for opening their doors.
Yes.
And we are the bridge between Australia and South Sudan and Africa in general.
Yes.
So that is what I could add. Otherwise, thank you very much
Okay.
for bringing me into your platform.
Yes. And thank you so much for sharing your views. Great insight, great wisdom from you. We really appreciate your leadership and the hard work that you have put into the South Sudanese Australian community. Thank you for always being an ambassador to the African community in Australia. We really are grateful for that. Continue doing the good job. So thank you, good people, for watching the show today. We continue to spread positive messages about the African community in Western Australia and also Australia-wide. So keep liking, keep commenting, and keep following this page. Thank you, Mr. John, and we hope to see you next time in another interview.
Thank you.
Thank you.